We all want to make a difference, don't we? We see problems out there in the world and we get this urge to help. We call that feeling caring. But what if caring isn't just a feeling? What if it's actually a skill? A really difficult, demanding, and sometimes maddening practice that is the only thing that really changes anything. Well, that's what we're going to explore today. The beautiful madness of what it truly means to care.
I'm sure we all know this one, right? It's the final, desperate plea from the Lorax. And just think about what he's asking for. He doesn't ask for some superhero or a genius inventor. No, he asks for something that sounds so simple, but is actually way, way harder. Someone who cares a whole awful lot.
It's a word we throw around all the time, but have you ever just stopped to really, unpack it? It's got to be more than just noticing something's wrong. It feels like it's an active choice, a moral choice. So, to care, it's about consciously choosing not to look away. It's about letting the world's problems, big and small, actually matter to you. The thinkers we're looking at today would say this single choice is the only real engine of change. But, and this is a big but, as humans, we aren't exactly wired to care about everything and everyone equally. To get why caring about everyone is so hard, we kind of have to look at our own mental blueprint. And you know what? The ancient Stoics had this brilliant model for this exact thing. He pictured our affections like, ripples in a pond, starting from one single point and just spreading outward. At the very, very center of that pond, that first and strongest ripple, that's the self. That's us. This is our default setting, our own survival, our own happiness, our immediate needs. It's really the foundation of our existence. And then, spreading out from there, you get the next circle, our immediate family, our parents, our kids, our partners. Our care for them feels automatic, right? It's powerful, and it's deeply wired into our biology. Then the circle expands again, this time to our community, our close friends, our trusted neighbors, the people we share an identity with. Our concern here is still really strong, built on shared experiences and mutual trust. And then, way, way out on the distant edge where the ripples are weakest, that's everyone else, the rest of humanity, strangers on the other side of the planet whose lives and struggles barely even register. They're like a faint echo. Now, here is the really brilliant part. The Stoics didn't see this as some kind of moral failing. This isn't a map of our guilt. It's just a map of our nature. It's our biological starting point. The real work, the beautiful, difficult work of being human, that starts when we decide to consciously fight against this natural gravity. So the whole moral purpose, they argued, is to do something that feels completely unnatural, almost insane, to intentionally pull those outer circles closer to the center, to try and treat a stranger with the same concern you'd have for a neighbor. They called this practice a beautiful madness, and it all starts by realizing that caring isn't quite what we think it is. So here's the crucial point. There's a massive difference between caring as an emotion and caring as a practice. See, caring as a feeling makes us a hostage to fortune. We get super excited when things go well, and we're totally crushed when they don't. But caring as a practice, well, that's about steady, consistent action no matter what the outcome is. It's about planting the seeds without needing to see the harvest. Okay, so if caring is a practice, how do we get good at it? Like any skill, it's not about the big, grand gestures. It's about mastering the unglamorous, nitty-gritty fundamentals. I mean, Michael Jordan said it perfectly. You can pour all the effort in the world into something, but if your technique is off, you're just getting really good at failing. Good intentions, they're just not enough. To really care effectively, we have to get the fundamentals right. Take the strange case of a baseball player named Jamie Carroll. If you just looked at his stats, his metrics, he was completely unremarkable. But one team consultant called him the most indispensable player on the market. Why? Because he was a master of the fundamentals. He did all the small, thankless things that never show up on a scoreboard, but make the entire team better. His value wasn't in some emotional, heroic home run. It was in the consistent, technical practice of his craft. So this gives us 4 key fundamentals for the practice of caring. First, get the technique right. Make sure your effort is actually pointed in the right direction. Second, do the small things, the invisible work that makes everything else possible. Third, show up consistently, especially when it's boring and thankless. And finally, aim at a specific target. Vague, fuzzy caring just evaporates. Targeted care becomes real, tangible action. Now, this all sounds well and good, but what happens when we try and we fail? when we lose our temper or act selfishly, and we just feel like we're not cut out for this. This is where the Stoics offer this incredibly profound source of resilience. Even as the Emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius filled his private journals with self-doubt and notes on all his own failings. So what kept him going? It was this core belief that deep down our nature is good. The Stoics didn't believe in original sin. They believed we have this source of goodness inside us that we can always return to. Rumi's metaphor just captures this idea so perfectly. We feel small, flawed, like one single drop, but we contain the capacity of the entire ocean. Our potential for goodness isn't some small fraction of what's possible. It is whole and complete inside of us, just waiting to be accessed. And this brings us right back to where we started. The hard truth of the story is that the Lorax fails. Despite caring a whole awful lot, he loses. The world he fought so hard to protect is destroyed. We expect this happy ending, but Dr. Seuss gives us something so much more powerful. As he lifts himself up into that smoggy sky, he leaves one final message. And it's not a promise of victory, it's a transfer of responsibility. Unless this one single word changes everything. It's not an ending, it's an opening, a crack in the wall of failure. It says the outcome is not final. The Lorax passes the very last truffula tree seed to a small boy, which is basically him passing it to us. This is the crucial connection. You have that inner spring of goodness that Marcus Aurelius was talking about, and you've just been handed the seed. The potential for a brand new forest is right there. So what do? The answer isn't a question, it's a command. The beautiful madness of caring isn't about feeling something, it's about doing something. It's your turn. Plant it.